What's up, guys? We're back with a new episode on my COPMARO. Today, my buddy Ryan Manson will be installing Dakota Digital's brand new RTX gauges for the 3rd Gen Camaro. I'm really excited about this upgrade because when I got the car, I realized my tach and speedo were definitely off. And with these new RTX gauges, not only will they be reading accurately, but they'll definitely have a new modern look while still retaining kind of that classic 3rd Gen style. So before jumping into some of the features and benefits of these new Dakota Digital gauges, I do want to mention that COPMARO was recently on the History Channel. It was on my buddy Steve Pazmani's Fully Torque show. At the end of this episode, I'll tell you a little bit more about how that came to happen, as well as some of the other upgrades that are currently in progress. For now, I'm going to hand this over to my buddy Ryan Manson to talk a little bit about the gauges, as well as show you how to do the install.
All right, we're here at In the Garage Media and their tech center for all Chevy Performance Magazine. We've got our 92 Chevy Camaro project behind us, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be installing a Dakota Digital RTX gauge cluster. Now these clusters are really cool. It's got an OEM look, but they're fully adjustable. I could change all the backlit colors, and I could even do it from my phone. It's got a Bluetooth app that I could download, and I could program this guy on the fly on my phone. So installation on this guy is pretty simple. We've got a couple different little wiring harnesses here. It's basically plug and play. This is going to connect our control box to our gauge cluster. So there's no external wiring required to go to the gauge cluster. And then our sending units plug and play right into our control unit. You can see our sending units here, the oil pressure, got a water temp, and then this is our speedo sensor. That's going to plug into the transmission, and obviously it's all plugged into the pigtail that runs to the box. Pretty simple. We've got a variety of adapters, so depending on if you've got an old small block Chevy or if you've got an LS that's metric, you've got some adapters for that. We've also got our button here. This is the switch assembly. This is what's going to run us through. If you don't want to do the Bluetooth app, you can run the switch and you could program everything that way. And also we got a buzzer for all different kinds of things. You could set that for low oil pressure, low fuel level, all that kind of stuff. It's fully programmable. We're going to be running a 12 volt switched, also 12 volt constant from the battery, ground, and that's pretty much it. That's what we need to connect from our wiring harness. Everything else comes through our pigtails over here with our sending units. So we're going to start by pulling our dash apart, pulling the stock cluster out, and we're going to go from there. Oh yeah, this is the cop car because it doesn't even have a stereo in it, huh? There it is. There you go. There's a little button on the bottom of the switch assembly, and when you pull it out and push it up, you can pull that out. Come on, there we go. Okay. So now we can see the gauge cluster. The connector is like down here, and it's like attached to the dash. And when the cluster goes in, it just plugs into it. All right. So the original connections for the gauge cluster is right here. You can see it's got like a printed circuit board, whatever you want to call this. It's kind of cool how they used to do it back in the day. Boom. There's two connectors here for the stock gauges, and I'm just gonna see if I can pull turn signal indication, high beam indication, power, ground, dash lights. I could grab all those from this connector. I'll be able to pull the fuel from this. I won't use it for the oil pressure, and I won't use it for the temperature, for water temp. I'll use Dakota Digital sending units for that. But everything else I should be able to pull off of these connectors. And what I'll do is I'll just depin it from the connector. I'll probably have to cut and splice a wire for each circuit, but it'll be a lot easier to go from this as opposed to trying to find it buried in the wiring harness somewhere or pulling wire from the battery or from the key switch. One of the last things we're going to do is, this is the battery 12 volt constant for the gauges. We don't have a clock in ours, which is typically why you got to run this. But for the memory to save the settings and stuff, we'll go ahead and hook this up. This will go straight to a 12-volt constant circuit, which we've got in our fuse panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this little fuse tap deal. It plugs into where a normal fuse goes, but it's got an extra circuit so you can run another fuse and a 12-volt constant wire off of it. So that's what we're tapping into right here. Let's put these puppies in.
The Dakota Digital RTX gauges took about a half day to install. A big thanks to my buddy Ryan Manson for helping me out and really putting in the extra effort to make the wiring look neat and tidy. I was able to use the Dakota Digital switch to set the speedometer, fuel gauge, and odometer. It was super simple and everything is reading accurately. After that, I connected the Dakota Digital app and was able to customize the gauge colors to match the car. Looking at the gauges reminds me of looking down at a nice watch. It's always a good feeling. One thing that's nice is that these gauges are future-proof. They'll work if you do an LS or LT swap, and they come with a lifetime warranty. I can also add expansion modules to the gauges if I want to know outside air temp, TPMS, compass, etc. Now, before I end the episode, I wanted to mention a little bit more about COPMARO being on the History Channel. My buddy Steve Pasmani, who has the Fully Torque show on the History Channel, he went over to Classic Industries, got a new front badge for the car. He also hooked me up with some new Michelin tires that actually came from Big O Tire. They also did an alignment, which is super helpful because the car kind of wanted to jump around when I was on the freeway into the left or right lane, so I can definitely tell the difference. So a huge thanks to my buddy Steve Pasmani for showing third gen Camaro some love. So what else has been going on with COPMARO? I recently took it down to Tech, put the car on the dyno, got some numbers, and the guys over there helped me out with an install of the Tech TPI kit. Keep an eye out for that on a future episode. And also some other big news. I've recently been working with TMI to do a full interior transformation on this car. I'm also working with Classic Industries to fill in some of the interior plastics, seat belts, and other interior pieces. Stay tuned later this year for a full interior transformation episode. For now, if you want to go ahead and purchase a set of those Dakota Digital RTX gauges, head over to dakotadigital.com. And if you want to see more episodes on COPMARO and stay up to date with everything going on with this third gen, make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up.